Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine sides of self, understanding whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see changes, we need to make changes within ourselves. We need to shift with the energy that we find here. You can definitely glean information about a specific person, but keep in mind that the person you're focused on is also composed of two energies. So you'll receive messages from that person from both sides of self. And the most beneficial thing to do is to view this as messages that are coming directly from yourself and find how you can relate to them. That's how you can heal. All right, so there is usually a reason why you choose to be here today. Oh, I just remembered I forgot to do something that I wanted to do. Dang it. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, there's a reason why you come here to these readings. There's, usually a lot of us come here because we are not hearing communication from somebody and we're seeking information about their feelings, their thoughts, that type of a thing. But we could also just be interested in like getting to know ourselves more. But ultimately, we feel like we want to know something or hear something that will make us feel better. So I want you to think of whatever that is for a moment and just get centered into this reading so I can get these clear messages to you. And just think for a moment, what do you think would make you feel better today? What do you think you need? That is what your ego thinks you need to feel better. Sometimes it's in alignment with our higher self, and sometimes it's not. So let's check what we actually would benefit from today. Oh, not who I expected to see. The Knight of Wands. This is his third appearance here, and he's coming out in sexually charged energy for sure. Definitely this is passionate energy, desire. The Knight of Wands, when he's upright, is spontaneous and sweeps you off your feet and throws caution to the wind, no longer waits for, analytical or logical reasons. Can be a bit irrational. There can be love bombing coming from this energy. There can be player energy here, inconsistency, ineffectiveness. But this is what we need. So we need to be swept up by our passion for someone or something. We need to see, good morning, Elizabeth, good to see you. We need to see some kind of an energy come from this like take charge kind of a mode, like charge ahead, charge forward. And I'm forgetting actually the knights in the Thoth Tarot are technically the kings. This is the highest level you can attain in the Thoth Tarot because there is a prince energy before this. So this is actually more of a King of Wands energy, which takes some of that inconsistency and puts it more into the King of Wands mastery, sexual mastery, monogamous king, pioneering energy for sure. I pulled the Knight of Wands today, but I think it's just because he's in player mode. Well, I'm in player mode, so this is if he's in player mode, it's not just him. But there is an energy here that is one of, for this is mastery, because in the Thoth Tarot, this person has mastered that charged energy. So it's getting mastery over this passion that we have, okay? That's what will help both sides of self the most from these messages come from these readings. Okay, we're going to do the Divine Feminine first because she had two cards showing, whereas the masculine only showed us one today. Really interesting what I'm seeing so far for the feminine energy. I don't know if you had a chance to see the TikTok readings today, but I'm getting repeat cards, and I do not know if you were able to attend the obstacles removed reading I did for members yesterday, or if you saw the replay, but I'm also seeing some repeat offender cards coming out from that reading too. So definitely some consistency in the energy that we're seeing here. Let's look at the top of the deck. Overall headspace for the Divine Feminine. The Devil. I told you. And we saw this actually. This was the obstacle for her in the Obstacles Removed spread yesterday. So you should definitely check that out. So what are the light traits of this card, though? Because when I see the card come upright, it tells me some things. It tells me some things that the Divine Feminine right now is allowing herself to think about and likely experience pleasure. And I think she's indulging in this pleasure to a certain extent. It's also possible that she is having some kind of a karmic relationship at this time herself. And that's why we're seeing that this reading come out right away with this sexually charged energy. There's a lot of sexual energy here. In the reading today for the Divine Feminine, the Tell Me Everything that I did on TikTok, she was hiding third-party energy. That is still true. So there is something that the Divine Feminine is enjoying, taking pleasure in, indulging in, fixated upon, obsessed about. I'm not seeing shadow, though. I'm not feeling this card come out and me being like, oh, you know, she's like really obsessed with it. It doesn't feel like that. Today, it feels just more like she is entertaining some of her pleasure receptors in her body for different things. It can be substances, it can be food, it can be going out more. It could be, you know, being obsessively focused on something, watching something a lot. It could be her doing a lot of tarot readings, focusing on a lot of tarot readings or the Divine Masculine. But I don't feel like this overly negative energy. I think she's just allowing herself to take pleasure, indulge in something. But there's also this entertaining of the ego going on. But the reason I'm not concerned about it, the reason why I don't feel the shadow is because of the underlying thoughts, the niggling thought, which is strength. So she's a person who underlying all their thoughts and decisions is this command and confidence and the ability to control your beastly side, your beastly nature, to keep your ego in check. Countering this card, I just feel she's not in a negative place. What I really see here is this Divine Feminine is indulging in pleasure because she feels the strength of this connection between the masculine and feminine energy. And she knows that just as when her masculine indulged, it did not degrade the strength of the connection. It may have caused anger or jealousy or feelings of pure butt soreness, but it didn't do anything to diminish her love for this person. That is the lesson of this journey. So the Divine Feminine is now experiencing the freedom to indulge in some pleasure of some kind, knowing that the strength of this connection is going to withstand it, and that she's not doing anything from an egotistical or vengeful or wrathful place, that she's simply allowing herself to receive pleasure. First thing on her mind, the moon. This was also in the place of, in the Obstacles Removed spread, the origination of the obstacle, which was the devil yesterday. So that's a different reading. That was a different reading, but you should definitely watch it because even though it was about financial things, there is a link between finance and romance. And in this reading in particular, it doesn't have to be about romance necessarily. This can be about anything, your career, about manifesting money. It doesn't matter. This is the energy that you're in. But this divine feminine was in a place where she was contemplating her dreams, etc. And the outcome for her was that she should continue to do this, and she is. So she is right now in her lone wolf energy, because it's interesting. There's supposed to be 2 wolves here in the moon card, and there's only one. So there's a lone wolf aspect to this feminine who's exploring this pleasure center. And she is, it's funny because I tried to take video of the moon last night, which was a crescent, and it looked like the Cheshire Cat. And I tried to post it with the Cheshire Cat song, and it wouldn't work. And I knew it was because that if I did that, the person that I considered my divine masculine for a long time would think I was communicating with him. And I knew immediately when it didn't work, because I was just like, oh my God, it looks like the Cheshire Cat. And it was really like this. So it's interesting because I literally was doing this last night. We see this divine feminine with tentacles here. So we know that there's this immersion in her emotions and feelings, but she's not attached to anything. She's not attached to anything. She's just enjoying fantasy, and she's keeping her secrets. What about third party energy? There's the 3 of Pentacles, and we've got this little birdie told me. I'm hearing a little birdie told me from this card. Now, this is her working in the material world, working in the 3D, bringing her dreams, her fantasies into fulfillment as well. It is not just her secrets about a third party, but for sure that is coming out for me. But we're really seeing that she is making her dreams a reality by working on them. And she's seeking this bird who's looking away from her right now. I think communication. She's seeking some kind of communication in the 3D from the divine masculine, likely. Meanwhile, there's another bird up here. So there's 2 other birds. Okay. The next card that's coming up is the Hierophant in reverse. So this... her faith is being tested right now. And I think that the divine masculine's faith is being tested, and she knows that. And I think she's questioning the wisdom of her decisions at this time. But there is this inner knowing that the connection can withstand this. So she's allowing herself to explore and learn new things about her commitment to the connection. Because the divine masculine, for this whole time, the feminine has been committed to the masculine. If you've been following the collective that I've been reading for, roughly sometime when Venus went into retrograde, just before Venus went into retrograde in the fall, we were seeing a lot of divine feminines walking away from a masculine energy that was in this energy, keeping secrets about third parties. And the divine feminine wanted more than that. And so she walked away from that masculine energy. Now, that masculine energy for a lot of the collective has not communicated fully or returned completely, has been in the process of doing that, or maybe not even doing anything at all. And so during that time, the divine feminine has had to admit that in order for her to fulfill her own needs, she must take action. That's come up quite a lot. It looks like she may have done that, or has contemplated that, or is fine with the idea of that, because she's understanding that there is no vow here between her and the divine masculine that is being broken. And here is where divine feminine's forgiveness is going to be able to finally come into full effect, because the divine feminine has already forgiven the masculine for the most part for his exploration of third-party energies. If I'm saying that and you're not resonating with that, you're probably at an earlier stage in the journey, and I would recommend going back through the YouTube videos because you're probably at an earlier stage. But for those of us that moved through this forgiveness process, we're now understanding that there was no vow. There was no commitment. One person was ready and another person was not. There was nothing to be taken personally in that event, right? The divine feminine right now does not act from a place of vengeance. The divine masculine in his behavior in the past did not act from a place of vengeance or manipulation. If he did, he has since tamed that. If she did, she has since tamed that. But she's learning these lessons about commitment and about what it means and about sacred union. If she's indulging in a relationship that is more of a karmic union, she's likely not having sacred sexual union. Although maybe it's closer than it has been in the past. Because the next thing that's coming up here is the Knight of Cups. And it is clarifying this moon card. So this is what divine feminine has been dreaming up. These offers, right? Or an offer from someone who is emotionally available, able to express and feel their emotions. In this case, it's the feminine herself who is serenading her own heart. And remember, we saw that the moon here was this lone wolf energy. So in a way, it's like divine feminine has become the Knight of Cups. She is perhaps serenading another, because the next card that is coming up here is the Chariot, which is clarified this Three of Pentacles energy. So this divine feminine, it appears, has decided to move in a new direction. She's not waiting for any offer from this masculine energy. She has gone ahead and started to explore on her own. And I do feel, though, again, this is a complete surrender of the ego. So she's not doing anything from a place of ego. There's no way that this masculine energy could take this personally if he was in alignment, because he would really be in tune with the fact that this feminine waited for him for quite a while. He wasn't able to meet her needs. She deserves to be loved. He knows she does. And he doesn't feel that what she's doing in this case is hurtful. It might be difficult for him to observe or think about, but it's not meant to be hurtful to him. And I feel that a reflective masculine energy will be in alignment with this, because divine feminine is just surrendering to these offers that she has received, or an offer, maybe just one that she has received. And there is balance here, so much balance, because the Chariot itself is about balance. And then the Temperance card is coming out, which is clarifying this Hierophant card. And very interestingly, the counter energy to the Devil, which is another reason why I can say with confidence that in the headspace, this Devil energy is not a problem, because this divine feminine is balanced. So she is able to enjoy pleasure from, communications from others, from dating, from most likely sexual encounters, without feeling guilt or shame. She is getting her needs met outside of the sacred union, and she's feeling peace and satisfaction in the headspace in regards to it, which is really lovely. And in case we weren't certain about what I just said, the top of the deck for the heart space for this divine feminine is that's clarifying this Devil energy in the headspace is the freaking Knight of Cups, which we already saw. And That's why I'm saying she is taking pleasure in some offer she's received of the expressions of interest, love, desire she's getting. It might be coming from a karmic person, somebody that she's learning lessons with, but it's like she knows it. It's like this is not okay. So we have this negative connotation that we associate with karmic relationship. We associate that with, oh, it's bad, we don't want one of those. That doesn't make any sense. You need those in order to be able to refine your technique, your style, your the way that you love others. This is how we practice, okay? When you enter into a third party relationship, and any relationship outside of the self is a third party. Even the relationship with the person that you consider your divine masculine is a third party, because there is only you and the divine. That's the only union that really, truly matters. That masculine and feminine energy in union with the divine. And then anyone on the outside, in the Lover's card, the masculine, which is the intellect, the ego, looks to the feminine, which is the emotions, the heart space, the intuition, who looks to the divine. In the Devil card, the couple looks at each other, okay? That's the difference, right? The Lover's card, they're learning about the connection through the divine, which is the proper way to do it if you're going to do it in a way that's going to be truly healing and in alignment. The Devil card, the lovers learn about love through each other, which is inherently going to be flawed because the divine is left out of the picture in that case. So a lot of times karmic relationships can degrade because there isn't a divine, what do I want to say, grounding in the union, okay? But you can enter into relationships with people intentionally, even communicating that you know this is a lesson. Like, I'm seeing someone right now, and we both just started dating, and we both said, hey, we're both dating. We're both learning about communicating. We're both learning to be open. We both want to be physical, but we both don't know exactly where we would want to go or take it. We just want to learn about being open to communication, sexual healing, feeling safe and comfortable to be in sexual situations, being supportive of one another, showing up for each other. That knowing, going in, having a feeling, both of us clearly having a feeling, I think this is more about what we need to learn and agreeing to it and being comfortable with it. That's a different type of karmic relationship than one that you're in, assuming that this person is your, is the person that you're supposed to be with because they're your soulmate, and then finding out later that they were just a lesson. That's an uncomfortable karmic relationship, but sometimes going in that this person is here to teach you for a while. This divine feminine clearly has some offer that is like that right now, or a potential for that. Or she has found something in her life that is teaching her a lesson that she's wanting to learn at this time. Because in the niggling feeling in the heart space is the devil. But again, the headspace is countering it. Headspace is like, no, I got this. I got this. I'm learning the lessons I need to learn. Now, this divine feminine can be cocky. So there might be an element here of her being like, I know what I'm getting into. And her not having at all any idea what she's really getting into. Let's just keep that on the table. But the fact that the Temperance card is here gives me the sense that, again, this divine feminine is in the light traits of the Devil card. And there is light here, right? The Devil card brings light. It brings awareness. It brings, this like insight into what the ego needs to feel pleasure, to receive pleasure. And the feminine needs to know that in order to create a clear picture of what she desires from the divine masculine. I want to tell you, though, there is not a single card that came out today from the headspace involving the divine masculine so far. She's not thinking about him at all, or very little. So whatever person she associated with this divine masculine energy, she's not thinking that much about this person, or it's you know, I mean, I guess for some, they could be fixated on the person. But again, I'm not feeling this devil energy is like that. I'm feeling it's something else. There's something else that has the divine feminine's focus or distraction right now. All right, let's go to the heart space. We've got the moon is being clarified by this Queen of Pentacles energy in reverse. So we see her here not wanting to be over nurturing. This is something she's really working on releasing. Over nurturing, overprotective energy, feelings of lack of affection or lack of nurturing herself. She's definitely learning, like seeking to tune in to that feeling of independence that the Queen of Pentacles has. She doesn't want to feel over mothered or over nurtured or overprotected. I love how Bowie positioned herself so you can see her. Such a Leo. And we have the Nine of Cups here, wish fulfillment, and it's clarifying this Three of Pentacles. So divine feminine is really feeling like she's getting her wish. She's getting what she wished for in some way. So, you know, this other energy that has entered the picture, this other bird, it's like brought her some wish fulfillment that she's been seeking. And she's just kind of basking in it right now. She's not sharing it or expressing it much with the, or at all with the masculine. Like maybe she didn't communicate that. I sent one person I consider my divine masculine, and there's been two that have had back and forth status in my head, and one I'm pretty sure is a karmic, but the other one I did let them know I was dating, and they didn't say anything about it, and I was like, that's what I thought. The Hierophant in reverse being clarified by the Five of Swords in reverse. 2 5s in reverse. I love this because this is conflicts, like just getting over it. Divine feminine doesn't feel that her sacred union is going to be defeated by sexual pleasure. She finally is in a place, good morning, elevated. She finally is in a place where she just doesn't feel that this is going to happen, that this outside interference type stuff, third party interference, it's just not going to, it's really not going to do anything to affect the long-term sacred union that she knows is in her future. She's not defeated by the current situation. This Knight of Cups right now, I can't fucking believe it is being clarified by the moon, and that is what it was clarifying. So absolutely, divine feminine is experiencing wish fulfillment, and her dreams are being realized right now. I do think she has some fears and anxieties coming up about feeling love, because we see her here touching her heart. The moon can be associated with fear. So can the devil card. I mean, I could have read this totally differently. I could have read that the divine feminine is really afraid right now of the offers that are coming in. And she's controlling her fears and anxieties about them. And she's been afraid of not being chosen. And she's been afraid. She's really hoping that what she wants will come and be in 3D. And she's trying not to be defeated by the signs of things not being committed. That layer is here, but I'm telling you, I don't feel the negative energy coming from the devil card. I feel we're looking at dreams and fantasies and pleasure, less at restrictive bondage and fears and anxieties regarding love, because of the Chariot and the Strength card and the Temperance card all being upright. If those are in reverse, I might feel a little bit differently, but I really don't see this as an issue. Wow, look at this. And then the LAPD helicopters are flying around, keeping us safe, ... This Chariot card is being clarified by the Ace of Cups in reverse. And this makes me so happy because she's moving on from a place where she seeks another person to fill her cup. That's no longer a thing for this divine feminine. She doesn't actually need multiple parties. She only really needs herself. And she's moving away from a time, and it's been a slow process, but she's moved away from this place where she needs the divine masculine to fill up her cup in any way, shape, or form. She doesn't. And that's why she's not really taking personally if the divine masculine had past entanglements. She's just like, whatever, man. Like, we weren't in any kind of commitment, or we didn't have vows together at the time. In some cases where those vows were broken, it's like there's been forgiveness for human nature, for the prodigal son type of forgiveness. And then finally, coming up with this Temperance card, we see the only representation of the masculine so far, the Knight of Pentacles, and it is, or I'm sorry, of Swords, and it is the one where he is wearing this ferocious bear mask and quite a lot of armor. And he's coming in his integrity to speak the truth. He's speaking directly. He's protected. He has a strategy. And he's coming very fast. And that's why Divine Feminine is feeling patience. Her faith was challenged, but she decided not to accept this defeated feeling about it, and instead become patient and await the arrival of the swift-moving energy. The masculine is in his integrity, ready to fight with her and reveal these major truths. Honestly, I can't deal with helicopter sounds. Like, the pressure from the blades, like, drives my brain crazy. Okay, so wow, that's oh my God. All right, get ready. We're going to check into the masculine side now. And then we'll go back and do the oracles for everybody. Okay, Divine Masculine's turn. Top of the deck, overall headspace for the Divine Masculine. The Strength card. That's right. The Strength card already appearing twice in the reading, and the Devil appearing 2 times with Strength twice, and the Moon twice. Wow. Okay. This masculine right now is thinking the same thing that's underlying all of Divine Feminine's thoughts. Our connection is the toughest, strongest material. It can handle anything. It can take anything. It's eternal. He's also controlling his ego. He is not taking things personally right now. And he feels really strong right now because he has faced what I saw in the TikTok reading this morning, because here's this card coming up again in the same position it came up in the TikTok reading, which is a double message for me because it doesn't normally mean things that are hidden in this reading, but it does mean that in the Tell Me Everything spread that I did today. And the fact that it's underlying all of his thoughts and decisions is telling me that he has, this is the 10 of Cups, he has achieved spiritual fulfillment in regards to, I'm pretty sure, a substance abuse issue. We saw the Temperance card balancing this Devil card. So that's why I'm telling you, I feel like the Devil card is here about pleasure today, not about addiction. But the 10 of Cups here, the cups are all on this Divine Feminine's dress, and that makes me feel that the Divine Masculine is intoxicated with her, like is definitely feeling giddy and lightheaded and like drunk love. And he feels this way because he feels very strong that he has accomplished this mastery over his over whatever his issues were before, drinking or third party energy, whatever it is, he's managed to take care of it. I also see that he is thinking that other people are intoxicated with the feminine too. The first thing on his mind is this Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So that's telling me that there is a feminine here who's working on something. And so I would be remiss if I didn't say that I do feel that there is some thoughts the divine masculine has right now about the feminine not doing some kind of work, not making something, not working on something, or not focusing on her career or her what it is she's doing. He's thinking about this, but it's also in his own way about him not focusing so much on the material and on work and not honoring or respecting somehow the divine feminine's work. And he's concerned about the judgment here that he will face, that he will not be forgiven for treating feminine energy like meat and not really treating her with that respect and honor that I was feeling he wishes that he had somehow conveyed to her in regards to what it is she creates in the world. He's intimidated about this rebirth. He fears the connection will not be reborn because he fears that she is going to judge him very harshly. Because it's like the work she does, what she makes, or all the work that she has done that he failed to do, he has some kind of fear about that. Then he's thinking about the Knight of Wands, who came up in the TikTok reading today and also there and for Elizabeth. And this is clarifying the Page of Cups. So he is feeling true love and he really wants to sweep divine feminine off of her feet. He wants to give her love, but he feels, again, immature. He feels like very immature about how he's approaching this. And he doesn't feel fully prepared, but he's just going to rush in because he can't risk the divine feminine judging him harshly anymore for not making a move. Now we've got Page and the Knight of Wands energy there. And then coming up after that, another Page of Pentacles. And this is the small offer he wants to make up for divine feminine, something about whatever she made in the world not being able to, I don't know, like be completed or finished or something because divine masculine wrecked things. He did something to wreck something that she was working on, or there's some storyline like that. He feels really childish about it, but he wants to make a small gesture with that Page of Cups. He wants to make an apology. He probably wants to apologize for his player energy, for his Knight of Wands energy, for him causing divine feminine to have to lose something that she was creating, or something they may have been creating together. And the next card coming up is he wants to reveal to her a little bit at a time. He doesn't want to overwhelm her, but the secrets that have been hidden here. He fears that what she has learned on her own, she's judging him very harshly for, but he wants to actually tell her the truth because a lot of what she heard is just gossip. So she actually heard things that weren't true necessarily, or the way that he acted, he was masking his feelings and he wasn't actually showing her his true feelings. And so he wants to correct that with that Page of Cups and Knight of Wands energy, then being clarified by the third page, the Page of Swords, who, again, very reckless here, running with scissors, but he has to tell this truth. He's really anxious about helping. He might be a bit reckless right now because he's he's really thinking he has to do anything he can to bravely just come forward and just tell her the truth about what happened and apologize for her being misled or whatever situation has happened. So let's look now at the top of the deck for the heart space. Clarifying the strength card is the Lovers, which we already talked about today. This is the divine union because in the traditional imagery, the lovers actually aren't looking at each other. So that's something to note in this card. These two lovers are looking at each other. But this union is so strong. It has withstood other parties. It has withstood karmic interactions. It has withstood the test of time, really, for these two. He's feeling so much love for that feminine energy. He just wants to wrap her in his arms right now. This 10 of Cups is being clarified by this Page of Swords. He's just learning everything he needs to know about his own spiritual fulfillment, about what will make him happy. And there's the Page of Swords in union. There's so much union in this spread. It's kind of shocking. He's learned about his addictions. He's learned about how to fulfill his own needs so he doesn't need to rely on his addictions. He wants to be brave enough to approach this divine feminine and finally experience this bliss with her. This is a great reading. This ironic that the feminine is exploring other energy here and then the masculine is finally getting his shit together, ... This 8 of Pentacles in reverse is being clarified by the Ace of Pentacles and the 3 of Pentacles because 2 cards came out for this position. And what did I tell you? Also, we had the Ace of the 3 of Pentacles coming up for the divine feminine over here in the current energy placement and the wish fulfillment. And it was also in the spread on the TikTok reading this morning, along with the Ace of Pentacles came out in the TikTok reading today. And this is what's clarifying. The divine feminine, he wants to make an offer to work with this divine feminine in partnership. I do think that there has been a third party that he has to communicate with the feminine about. That is what the bravery thing is. And I believe also that he really just wants, there's just literally working in the same field on the same project, something that divine feminine has not been able to do alone. This divine masculine wants to come to her and offer, hey, I know you're working on this. I want to work on it with you. One of the reasons that divine masculine fears that the feminine won't forgive him is that she walked away from him. He feels this here. She left her last cup here behind her and she burned all of, this is the bowl with all of the things we burn in it, like to release it. So she fully released him and completely walked away. He knows that. He fears that she won't forgive him and that's why she walked away. He doesn't really understand that, because he's not aware, he's not mentalizing this, he's not understanding that the divine feminine had to forgive him to walk away. It's when you're holding on to somebody with anger that you're not leaving them. It's in order to walk away, she had to forgive him. That's a different kind of walking away, and the masculine doesn't understand that he's already forgiven. The Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands are being clarified by the Ace of Swords. And this is what he wants to do. He wants to end that spiraling mental torture that this feminine was in and just tell her the truth about his behavior, his immaturity in the past, and how he has a new perception of self, that he is open to this expression of love and he is open to sweeping her off her feet and heal these energies. So he's no longer an unhealed version of himself. He's fully healed. And this offer he wants to start with, it's just the beginning because he really is bringing this 6 of Pentacles energy to the union and actually reciprocating with the divine feminine. This one small gesture is going to lead to so much more. That's another reason why we're seeing all these plates falling. It's like dominoes. It's like one small step and all these towards me, and I'll take 10 steps towards you. The Seven of Swords, he wants to reveal the reasons why he couldn't let go of the feminine. This is not the reasons why he was hiding from her. He wants to tell her the reasons why he couldn't let her go, because he is feeling that that was actually the most painful thing he did to the feminine. It's not so much that he was with others. It was that he wouldn't let her go. And he's realizing that that was selfish. To wear a mask so that she would hold on to him was the most painful thing he did. To keep her suspended was the most painful thing he did. And I see these scissors wanting to cut down this suspension to tell divine feminine his perspective of what was going on when she was suspended, to apologize to her for it, to make amends. I feel like I just ran a marathon. Like, wow, this divine masculine is that energy. The Knight of Wands energy is really strong here. It's like, say it, get it out. And then the Page of Swords is like, just say what you need to do. Just be brave. Just speak. Just tell her everything that's on your mind. All right. Divine Feminine, your archetypes that you're currently in right now, you are in the hero and heroine energy. So you have a passion for this journey of personal empowerment, and you have left behind escapism and a false sense of heroism. You are, however, in the shadow attributes of the Hermit. So I feel that you might be withdrawing from society out of fear or negative judgments of others. Actually think that, no, I take that back. This says, seek solitude to focus intently on inner life and serve personal creativity. I think you're being encouraged to leave the hermit mode if you've been in the hermit mode, frankly. Because this is not necessarily a time to seek solitude. For some, if when I told that other layer of the collective, which is there's fear about receiving offers and stuff like that, if you're in the place where you resonated more with the fear-based reading of the feminine energy, you may need to withdraw to seek solitude, to focus intently on your inner life. You may need to go into that subconscious. If you fall more into the category of being okay with experiencing pleasure and offers of love, then you're coming out of the hermit mode. We are getting your guardian angel here to support you with this card of moving. I keep getting messages. I am myself moving as of April 1st. I have to be out of here. I don't know exactly where I'm going yet. I'm kind of being a bit Pisces rising about it. But I'll go somewhere. I just don't know where. I had a moment where I was like, oh, as of April 1st, the person I used to consider my divine masculine will not know my address anymore. And that will be that. But yeah, so I have this received messages before about the divine feminine moving, relocating, actually physically moving. Your guardian angel is supporting here. It was in reverse though. So I feel like if you feel stuck or like you're not moving, that's turning around for you. Or if you have not been moving your body, you're being encouraged to move your body. My mom is doing yoga and telling me about it and saying it's helping her a lot. And it's really making me want to get back into my yoga practice, which is one of the things I was going to ease into. I started with water, then I cleaned up my food, which has felt really, really, really good to me. I'm doing an intuitive nourishment type of style, but I'm doing gentle nutrition with foods that I know my body really, really loves. And I feel really good with that, but also not being restrictive. Overly restrictive in any way. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in help with that, taking my spiritual nourishment course. The details for that are below. It's self-directed and it helps you with precisely what I was just talking about. All right. Energy flows where my intention goes. This is the mindset that you need to inhabit this week. Energy flows where your intention goes. So make sure your intentions, we just had the new moon. If you didn't set your intentions, that's okay. You can set them now. You don't have to set your intentions with the new moon energy. It simply amplifies the intentions you're setting. And it's an energetic amplification, but it's also a mental one, right? It's like how much power you believe the moon has. So you can tune into the moon's energy at any time. You can pull a new moon card from the Moonology deck and set your intentions with it. But do it, because that energy that you have right now to work with, which is plentiful, it's going to go where it's going to flow where your intention goes. You're being called to do ritual work regarding trust. So you might be challenged in trust. Faith came up a lot yesterday. Those two things are linked. And so ritual work regarding trust would be asking for a sign, really specific sign, like a blue rose or something that doesn't occur easily in nature, and then waiting to see when it appears, seeing how long it takes to appear. And it can be like in an advertisement. It can be in a TikTok video. Somebody can say blue rose. You can be invited to a restaurant called the Blue Rose. You can see an actual physical blue rose, but you might want to pick anything, like just something that's really, really, really specific to you, really significant, a number pattern, whatever. And then just say, I would like to see that. Show me that. Show me that number today. When I see that number, I will know that that means that I can trust in you, my higher self, that you are always leading me where I need to go. So play that game with the universe and work on trust. Divine Feminine, keep getting this. I just talked about the new moon, and it says you and your loved ones are safe. Honestly, it came out yesterday in the reading, and I'm going to read it because this is the second time we're looking at it again, and I'm just called to read it. So let's read it. There's a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. Again, with moving. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring you your heart's desire. Make sure you put your family first. Let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for your child or children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. Spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. The new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer, it's one of her two home signs, along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family members. So I hope you got a lot out of that. And then we are getting this card, which says, take a break. This is your light work right now. Two cards are coming out together. So we did your ritual. This is your what you need to release. So you need to release any fears that you and your loved ones are not safe. And then this is the light work you need to do. It says, take a break, a life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. And that's coming out with Get Grounded, which is in reverse. Empaths, highly sensitives, and connect with nature. So I feel like you need to get out into nature. You need to take a break. If you can go on a mini vacation or a longer vacation, just do it. I feel like we just really give a lot to others and don't give to ourselves, and we worry that there's not going to be money to do what we need to do. If you need a vacation, it's going to happen. So take that break. from trying to figure something out or over mentalizing something. If you are resonating with this loop thinking and fear and anxiety aspect that I pulled from that reading, that might be a strong message for you to, to release this fixation on whatever it is you've been focused on. For others, I'm just seeing, like, make sure you're meditating and connecting in nature, but like enjoy this. Like, divine feminine, if you're getting your needs met, enjoy it. Like that, you're meant to receive pleasure. So just get off that treadmill of your brain, like enjoy it. Koi fish spirit is coming out just as a reassurance to you that there is always enough, and that you don't have to worry. Again, this is just, don't worry about how. There is plenty. It might look like there's not enough, but there is, and you just have to stay strong. This has been very challenging for me. So definitely click support, and please be signing up and doing the things, because the abundance thing is a real challenging one for me personally, and this is my job. So if you're enjoying these readings, if you're really gaining a lot of healing and insight from them, please click support. Please send me a deck. I'm actually, I'm going to be using this new app called Wish Upon. And I'm going to have a list of like Bowie's foods, if you want to purchase Bowie's food or household things or things I need to purchase for my son, just because I think people like to do that. They like to support you with gifts like that. And I could definitely use all the abundance that's available to me from those of you who are really receiving a lot of value from my teaching. So I do appreciate everybody who's booking personal readings. If you're intimidated by prices, please just let me know. I can definitely find a place to meet you where you're at. Just hit me up in the Gmail. All the information is in the description box below. And we're getting to this card, the Aeon. This card, I believe, I always have trouble with this one, remembering this one. I think it is Judgment. Yes, because it's the 20th. It's the 20th card. So I'm pretty sure, but let me double check, because the Thoth Tarot has funky names for these. Yes, final decision concerning the past, new current for the future, always represents the taking of a definite step. All right. So the final judgment, basically, that final step, you're there. That's where you are right now. And you have enough to complete this journey. So take that final step, that step that's forgiveness of the self, all of those things. This is like your moment. This is the moment of rebirth for you this week. Divine Masculine, let's look at you. Interesting. You are in the shadow attributes right now of the nothing. The nothing. This card, when I get it, represents for me a blank slate, the ability to start new. And if you're in the shadow, then I feel that you fear you can't start again, that you can't start fresh, that you can't come up with a new idea. And that might be a little bit, the feminine holding on to this old idea that came up in yesterday's reading. Her having a hard time picturing a new beginning. So the masculine is sharing that attribute right now. But you can start fresh. You can start and build anew at any point in your life. Even if you are 75 years old, 85 years old, you can start new. You can start fresh. There is no time limit. Your guardian angel is here. Interesting sign from above. And we got the other card about trust. And I said, ask for a sign from above. And this guardian angel is coming out. And it's like, the divine masculine, you've been ignoring. I keep hearing that in readings, that the masculine energy has been ignoring all of the signs, and his intuition just completely ignoring it. And his guardian angel is stepping in right now. And you're probably going to get a slap when signs come. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it in your chest. Okay, 2 mindset cards came out for you. The first one is one that you need to work on. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So that's something you're having is challenging to you. And what will help you is the key to prayer is to forget what I think I need, which is what we do in the very beginning of the reading. When I come in and I say, what do you think you need? And then I'm like, that's not what you need. This is what you really need. Forget what you think you need. This is saying, when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So this divine masculine has a fixed mindset right now about how he sees the world. That's why he's having a hard time imagining the slate being clean and starting fresh and starting again. But the key to prayer is to forget what he thinks he needs. He thinks he needs to do something specific to get back what he lost, rather than just starting fresh, just trusting with certainty and faith. And then that his mind will be changed and he will see a different outcome than he expected. Interesting. We're getting two ritual cards. We're getting love coming out with animals in reverse. So, and there's my puppers, who's sleeping soundly on the couch, but she's huge. I just had her yesterday. I wanted to show my son how big she is, and she jumped up at me, and her head is up to my chest. So she's only 8 months old. Yes, 8 months old now. Wow. Anyway, she's going to be so big. This being in reverse for me, I feel I'm getting love and loyalty. Love and loyalty. And so I think you need to do a ritual that reinforces your confidence, your faith in love and loyalty. Divine love is loyal. Karmic love is selfish. It's inherently flawed. It doesn't have the ability to tune into the higher level thinking, behaviors, patterns, because it is about each other, not about the connection to the divine. But in a relationship where there is a divine union, the loyalty is embedded in that union. So maybe doing some kind of a ritual involving rings would be a good idea. And also, if you have companion animals, feeling the unconditional love that comes from them, because the masculine is learning to trust that the love that comes from the feminine is truly unconditional. Divine masculine, you are very close to achieving your goal. And since I read the feminine, I'm going to read this for the masculine. This is the Gibbous Moon. Trying to find it. The word gibbous means bulging. What a descriptive word, right? And pulling this card at any time of the month suggests that the situation you're asking about is bulging with possibility and coming to a peak. But this isn't an ending card with a neat yes or no answer. Rather, you're being reminded that some adjustments may yet be required before you get what you want, though you're certainly on the right track, which is hopefully reassuring for you. However, there is also a sense that the situation is a bit tense. So don't push too hard. One false move and the whole thing could blow. That's not meant to scare you. It's just to let you know there's a fuse attached to the situation. So be careful if you choose to light it. To attune to the moon, you need to say, I know that I am on the right track. Additional meanings for this card include, now is a good time to review your plans, keep the momentum going as you move towards your dreams, stay focused. It's a good time to start a new project. You need to get back into good health habits. The gibbous moon comes at the very end of the lunar cycle, just before the full moon. She looks like she's bulging because she's almost a full moon, so she's nearly fully rounded. It's the culmination of the waxing cycle, and as such tends to be a rather intense period of the month. No matter when you pull this card, it suggests a very ripe time and a very ripe situation. All right, you are getting for your light work. It was in reverse, the Council of Light, divine orchestration, and helpers in the subtle realms. I think you might be just having trouble really believing that in the divine orchestration, really believing that you have these subtle helpers, because a lot of your experiences have been that things have gone wrong. And so you've been focused a lot about how it's not panned out the way that you saw that it should. But that was because you were always going after what you thought you needed instead of what you actually needed. And that was what is divinely orchestrated. So tune into that, be aligned in that council of light. You do have helpers. It's really just yourself, and then you're getting B spirit, sweet results await. And that for me is almost the same meaning there as the gibbous moon. It's like everything that you possibly have been wanting to come into a fulfillment is on its way to you. The bee spirit's message is that sweet rewards are on their way if you are willing to get your ego out of the way and immerse yourself in the connected energy of all things. Bee spirit knows not to let a sense of being a separate self get in the way of a good thing. Spirit is always producing honey. Miracles and magic are everywhere. When you connect with the great hive, you are vibrating and buzzing in exquisite harmony with all. Bee spirit asks that your focus be on connectivity. Your body, heart, soul, and psyche experience total interconnectedness and a true integration when you self-forget, when you remember that you are part of a greater unified consciousness. Moving from separation into connection, from self-centered limitation to spirit-centered infinite possibility and potential, you become busy as a bee, enjoying the gifts of bee spirit, fully in alignment with your highest expression of yourself. Your heart opens and creativity rushes through you seemingly without effort as you experience that nothing feels like work. Industriousness is driven by enthusiasm and inner motivation, and time seems to fly by quickly as the hive supports you in the making of honey. Do you feel the presence of your helpers in the hidden realms adding their energy to your creations? Magical results are taking form and will be sweeter than you expect. Bee Spirit wants you to remember that your part in the divine partnership with the conscious universe is being rewarded, even if you can't see that yet, and asks that you share your good fortune as there is plenty of honey for all. Be a part of the larger whole, the force that brings forth all that is sweet and delightful. And your theme for this week is the Eight of Swords. And it says interference on it. This Two of Swords is a decision. And this decision is interfering with the Six of Swords, which is the ability to move on and have learned the lessons that we endured during this time of struggle and strife. And the Two of Swords represents peace after its truce after a time of struggle as well. So this decision is interfering with your ability to level up divine masculine. And this decision is not making this decision it's protecting you, but that is an illusion. It's not truly protecting you. It's actually keeping you stuck. It's actually keeping you in a prison that's completely of your mind. So you're really wanting to make this decision to move to the next place. That's your job this week. Make the decision where you're going or that you are going. Maybe not where you are, but decide that you are moving to the next point. All right, we are at that point now where we're going to go over the last oracle cards for both the masculine and feminine energies. I will be reading again for members on Thursday and or Friday this week. And then I will be doing the reading with Grace Strega, the hour of free readings on TikTok, and then an hour of the Divine Check-In normally on Sunday. That is the schedule for this week. the best way to support me, honestly, that if everybody who loved these readings and came at least once a month supported me by purchasing the membership package, which is $3.33 on my website, you have access to 2 to 3 more additional readings that I do during the week. So if you want access to those full-length readings, please become a member. And otherwise, you can just click the support button. If you received insight from this reading and you'd like to support me, I would really appreciate it. I would really like to do my laundry today, and I need at least $10 more. So please help me with that. All right, here we go. The divine masculine and feminine energy right now are in the light attributes of the advocate. So they are putting compassion into action, and they're really advocating for themselves and one another. Your guardian angel is here to support you in receiving these blessings of abundance that are raining down on you right now. You may not be aware of how you are experiencing this abundance. When that happens, I encourage you to go into a mode of gratitude and just start thanking the universe for everything that you currently have. And as you start to get on that gratitude flow, it will pick up and you'll realize all the abundance you do have. You know, like I was complaining about being a poor person the other day, and then I was watching The Gilded Age on my large screen on my monitors, like with my really nice studio monitors, this amazing sound. My friend and I are sitting there and, you know, talking about, I was like, well, I did get approved for CalFresh, which is basically like our food stamps or whatever here, because I don't make enough to survive here, etc. And I was like, oh, whatever, just talking about being in that position. Then I was like, I mean, you know, poverty in some cases looks a lot different than poverty in Los Angeles does for me. And being mindful of the abundance, I'm surrounded by so many cards right now. Like there's so many decks of cards on my table, and I appreciate all of them, and they help me tell all of these really intricate and interesting stories. But just look around and just find something, because as soon as you hone in on something, you know, I have an abundance of fresh water. You know how many people don't have fresh water? There's a bunch of people in the Ukraine right now that don't have any of their basic necessities right now. Every time you acknowledge your abundance and thank the universe for it, you attract more like that. So just keep doing that. Your guardian angel is supporting you in that. This is the mindset that will help you this week. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. So when you accept, when you are in darkness and you accept that the love that is there for you always from the universe is your primary teacher, you will be led out of that darkness. You are being granted clarity, and you should do some ritual work involving clarity. Now you could listen to, I've been using frequencies, sound frequencies to inspire clarity because I feel that I need it. You can use a crystal, an actual crystal ball like is in this image. I actually have a black crystal ball. It's obsidian. You can use any surface, any reflective surface, and just kind of do the thing where you cross your eyes, like you do for those 3D, 2D to 3D image books that we used to have, the magic, what are those called? Magic puzzles or something, magic eye puzzles. So you can look into a surface and go into a meditative state, seeking clarity. Incidentally, if you want a massive obsidian crystal ball for very few dollars, go to Quartzsite, Arizona, to the Gem Warehouse. I think there's back there, my salt lamp. You can see that's a pretty big salt lamp. It was only like $5 because it was like 25 cents per pound. And that's like $200 at like a nice store. Quartzsite, the Gem Warehouse. It is literally a warehouse. I mean, they're all raw crystals. Like they're not blessed or anything. Like they don't have the intention setting that you get when you get them from a metaphysical shop. But if you can do your own intention setting and stuff, you might as well go to the Gem Warehouse. But anyway, Yeah, so you might want to do some kind of ritual work involving clarity. You can work with clear quartz stones, rose quartz, anything, any of the quartz crystals are going to be good for ritual work involving clarity. The full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. And both receive this type of energy of things coming to a close, the last step, the final step, the end approaching. We are there. We are at that point now. This card is in reverse. The light work right now says, what lights you up? I think you've been resisting answering this question somehow. I think it has to do with that blank slate card. Being afraid of finding out something new lights you up. Like, you know, the Divine Feminine is dating, she meets someone new, being afraid if that person actually does light her up more than someone else, right? Don't be afraid of what lights you up. Don't be afraid to go deeply and look for that because you're afraid that it's going to take away an old paradigm you had. That's precisely what you're asking for. You don't want those old paradigms anymore. So don't be afraid to ask those questions. Wow. To reinforce that, Porcupine Spirit is here with time for beginner mind. 48. And before I read it, I'm just thinking, porcupines are prickly. They can protect themselves, like that Eight of Swords energy. And if they've experienced something in the past, they will automatically protect themselves from it, right? But you need to have a beginner's mind. It says, when Porcupine Spirit calls your name, you're being asked to adopt a beginner's mind and to approach situations with innocence and curiosity, which is great because the Divine Masculine side was full of that. He was full of innocence and curiosity over there. The old confining stories no longer have a hold on you. Life is full of surprises hiding in plain sight. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you have been seeking, whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or evidence that you have all you need now to co-create what you desire. Who knew? Porcupine asks you to be playful and have a childlike curiosity. There is so much waiting for you that you have yet to discover. I love that. And your theme is the Knight of Pentacles. But it is just like, it's so interesting because your theme is the Knight of, it's the fastest moving knight and the slowest moving knight. But neither one of these is truly knights in the Thoth Tarot. These are actually the kings. And the King of Pentacles is solid, reliable, stable, provider, protector, husband, father, knows his worth, knows his value. He can be egotistical. Both of these kings can have issues with ego. And we saw the strength card, so we know that we do need that strength to control our ego in the situation. We need to plod forward slowly and steadily. We need to leave behind perfectionism, fixation with things being perfect. Just be curious, start fresh, give that second chance, give those second chances, and just see where this next path leads us on the journey. And that's where we are right now. I feel I could have read this so much differently and didn't. And it's not because I'm like relentlessly optimistic all the time. That is an element of my personality, but I don't read the cards that way. I just genuinely feel, I don't feel tension. I don't feel pain. I don't feel a lot of anxiety, which is why I wasn't seeing the devil and the moon in that energy. I was seeing it in the light of those cards, fantasy and pleasure. It is the same feeling I have with these two cards. And even actually the Judgment card and the Eight of Swords, there is a feeling of maturity, the ability to tackle these concepts, being maybe in the Knight energy, but being able to approach it as a king, which is maybe why we're getting those Thoth Tarot cards today. All right, everybody. I hope that you have a glorious day today. What's today? Monday. I have, in an hour, I have a meeting, and then I have a study hall, And then I maybe will have a date again, I hope, because I've been having fun with that. My day off is tomorrow. I will be around on Wednesday for readings. If you book personal readings, I think you can book them for Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Last time I checked. But you can, of course, send me an email at any point in time. I will try to answer them as they come in. I have been feeling very spontaneous about my TikTok presence. I did 3 readings today. I didn't do any on Saturday. So I'm just going to keep flowing with that. But normally I'm posting there about 4 to 6 days a week. So you can catch me over there during the week. And I hop on for lives occasionally. Though lately I need to do things that are going to generate more income, and doing free stuff all the time weirdly doesn't generate income. It's so weird. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope I will see you again next week, or if you're a member, on Thursday or Friday. Take care.